Welcome to the House of Chance and the amazing world of probability. You're going to have help with our students who will help you explore the material in this course. And as well as that, you're going to have mathematicians that challenge you. In this case, we're going to call them the house because there's a house of chance. And those mathematicians are 0, delta, and 7. So let's start our journey into the world of probability by looking at a famous wager. This wager happened in 1654 when a French writer called Anthony Gombard, who gave himself the title of Chevalier de Mer, which means Knight of the Area de Mer. Now, he wasn't a nobleman, so he really didn't have any right to a title. And as well as that, he was a compulsive gambler and swindled a lot of people out of their money. So we're going to give him our own title. We're going to call him Tony. So Tony made a wager, and the wager was that when he rolled 4 dice, that he would get at least 1 6. And he was in France at the time. He won quite a bit of money on this wager. I have played this game, so I have done 5 games with 10 rounds in each game, and Tony won 3 of them. I won 1, and we drew 1. So I can see how Tony made a lot of money in this wager. But word got out that Tony was making a lot of money, and people stopped playing the wager. So Tony had to come up with a different game. So the game he came up with was that he was going to roll a pair of dice 24 times, and in that he bet that he would get at least 1 double 6. But what he noticed now was that he was actually losing money on this bet. The reason for that was he didn't really understand the maths behind probability. What Tony did next, though, was very important for probability because he sent a letter to a very famous mathematician called Pascal. And Pascal is the person who discovered a lot of the maths behind probability. The challenge of this course, and why we're introducing the wager now, is the challenge of this course is for us to understand why Tony won money in the first bet and lost in the second bet. If you can understand the probability of these 2 wagers, then you will have a good understanding of probability in general. So let's take a look at probability. The probability of an event happening, and an event in this situation would be either a roll of a dice or a flick of a coin, is a fraction. And the fraction is made up of successful outcomes. So what is an outcome? An outcome would be heads in the case of heads and tails, or 1 in the case of rolling a dice, over the total number of outcomes. So for a coin, that would be 2. For a dice, that would be 6. So it's always a fraction. It's always a fraction between 1 and 0. So when the probability is 1, it's certain that it's going to happen. If the probability is between 3/4 and 1, it is likely that it will happen. If the probability is a half, then it's got equal chance of happening and not happening. If it's between 1/4 and 0, it's unlikely to happen. And if the probability is 0, it's impossible. There's no chance of it happening. So let's look at a question. So April, one of our students, is being challenged by a mathematician called Delta. And Delta has said that we have 3 events and we want you to find the probability of each of these events and advise April on which ones you should take. So we've got the heads coming up on the flick of a coin. When you roll a dice, you get 3 or higher on one single roll of a dice. Or on a 12-sector spinner, when you spin it around, you'll get a number between 1 and 7, and that includes 1 and 7. So which of these events has the highest probability, and which one should April go for?